British embassy staff are being told to leave Sudan as soon as possible as fighting in the country intensified. The PM chaired an emergency Cobra meeting yesterday over the crisis. More talks today.
But as airports and motorways become war zones, how dangerous could this evacuation be? Well, joining us now for more on this is political commentator Peter Spencer. Good morning to you, Peter. Really good to have you with us. Very serious situation in Sudan, especially in Khartoum. We know that Rishisunak chaired a Cobra meeting yesterday. More talks expected today. This is serious, isn't it, getting British people out of Khartoum?
It most certainly is, and we note that President Biden has taken the same basic position as the Brits, which is to get people out as soon as. And as you rightly say, of course, Rishisunak had to chair a Cobra meeting yesterday. And looking at it from his point of view, you think, look, you got a couple of generals have fallen out in a faraway country of which we know little. And suddenly he's got to switch his concentration away from all the other things that he's got on his plate, like the local elections, like losing his deputy and so on, and focus on that. I mean, I'm reminded of something that Harold Wilson once said when Harold Macmillan once said when asked if anything troubled him in politics. He said, "Well, events, dear boy, just events." That's what this is.
Why has it warranted something like a Cobra meeting, Peter? I mean, obviously we've got diplomatic staff over there and there will be civilians over there, but presumably not that many.
Just one is enough, isn't it? I mean, the point is you have an intensely volatile situation there. You've got a couple of generals who've fallen out spectacularly, chucking bombs and things around. And so anything could happen at any point. That's part of the problem, is the fact that there's no way of knowing which way this is going to go. And until just a few days ago, no one really knew there was going to be a problem anyway. And so, of course, they're playing safe, and of course, they have no choice but to do so. I mean, I'm just reminded, just as sort of parenthetically, I just mentioned the fact that it's probably rather an uncomfortable reminder for Dominic Raab of when we had the sudden evacuation from Afghanistan, which didn't, I have to say, go particularly well. Where was Dominic Raab at the time as Foreign Secretary? He was on holiday.
Well, yes, good point, Peter. I mean, we do know that James Cleverly has cut short his Pacific tour that he's on right now in order to come back in and be in these meetings. But it is going to be complicated, isn't it? I mean, we touched at the top there about airports and roads becoming war zones. We're seeing pictures now of bombs going off. I mean, it's going to be very difficult to evacuate people, isn't it?
Well, I mean, that's one reason why they had to have a Cobra meeting, to get all the heads together to work it out, because, we're a very, very long way away. We've got British nationals, embassy, but also there's quite a significant number of British nationals living out there in different parts of the country. If it does erupt into full-scale civil war, how on earth do you get them out? That's what they had to think about, and they've got to think about pretty damn quick.
You mentioned Dominic Raab. Do you think this row is over for the Conservative Party? I mean, do you think it's been nipped in the bud in time?
Well, I think Rishisunak has certainly done his best to do so. There was that report from a top lawyer in which he was found not guilty of 6 of the charges, but guilty of the other 2 of intimidating and bullying staff. And Number 10 has not confirmed that he was actually sacked. But generally speaking, when ministers resign, what they actually mean is they've got the heave-ho. And you can picture the telephone conversation that the two of them had, with Rishi Sunak saying to Dominic Raab, look, there's a bit of a problem, Dom. I think you're going to have to slip away. We'll get you back as soon as we can, but I think you're going to have to go now. And Dominic Raab very clearly spitting nails about the thing and say, if I go, it's in anger, not in sorrow. Hence all the stuff that he was first of all, as the papers put it, he came out swinging, which is actually says it all. And then you can just picture this karate expert with the veins in his forehead throbbing, absolutely hopping mad. And I note that today his he's done a piece for the Mail on Sunday, in which he's still steaming, but he's not actually spitting nails anymore. I mean, obviously, from his point of view, when he stops to think about it for half an hour, a second, they think, look, the sooner I shut up, the sooner I'm going to get back into office, because we've got the headlines rumbling along. And that's one reason why Sunak said, look, you've got to go, man, because we've got to close this story down. And so I think that what he'll do is, I think he will now he will button his lip a little bit. And as a consequence, at the earliest possible moment, I'm quite convinced that Sunak will want him back in office.